Hey, this is Annie, and in this video, I'm going to be diving into the process of how I create my presentations. So maybe this might be helpful if you're creating a presentation. And in this video, this presentation will actually be presented in front of high school students. Specifically for art students, it's going to cover my art journey, and yeah, if you're curious to see the structure in which I create my presentations, let's dive right in and let's check out the behind the scenes and let's get lucid. Alright, so I realize I'm kind of at a weird angle right now in between two of my desks, but that's because I'm going to take my laptop and I'm going to move it over to this desk so that you can see what I'm working on in a bit. But before I do that, what I'm going to cover right now is a quick overview on the seven steps of creating a presentation. So number 1 is the audience, number 2 is the intention, number 3 is the brainstorming phase of it, number 4 is the organizing part / how do you want to tell it, structure it, number 5 is creating and designing your presentation, number 6 is the practice run, lucky number 7 is the presentation day. So that was a very quick, rapid run through of the overview, and now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. So the first thing that I'll cover is I'm gonna cover the audience. So the audience right now is high school students and it's art kids, and specifically AP art kids, and because they're high school students, I'm gonna include, I'll include some emojis and maybe some hip internet slang in my presentation, but the main thing about knowing who your audience is the fact that you can use their language, right, in order to connect with them. So the second thing is super duper important, and that's the intention. So what is it that you'd like your audience to gain from your presentation? So what are the key insights that you'd like them to carry along with them, right? And so that's the second, and I also think that's your why. So that's super important, knowing your why. I think the main thing though is that I want to inspire and I want students to be able to have some takeaways so that they can use to navigate their own life. And that's the intention behind why I'm giving a presentation to high school students. And the third thing is brainstorming. So, what is it that you want your presentation to include? Just dump it all on, I'm going to dump it on a piece of paper, but just dump it on, a file. Maybe it's a Google Doc sheet or wherever you dump things onto. So do that. Dump all your ideas on that one sheet of paper or, wherever you see fit. In the fourth step, you're going to actually start structuring it. So for myself, I like to ask myself the question of how can I tell this as a story? Because usually stories are more stickable and more relatable than if you were to just ramble on and on, right? And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna structure it into a story. And for the fifth thing, we're going to start creating and designing it. So I actually already designed this template and I'm just using an old one, but I'm kind of just updating it as I go. So it just makes the process a lot faster. And this presentation that I'm already using, this is actually for the Asian Creative Collective, and I'm pretty much updating it for the usage of the presentation for the high school students. And then we're going to move on to the sixth thing, to number 6, which is to do a little practice run, and on lucky number 7, we're going to present it, and that'll be the presentation day. Alright, so I did a little bit of my practice run, and today is the day of the presentation, and so hopefully there's some nice takeaways for the students. I also made a PDF for the students where they can click on the links for the resources. So yeah, let's get presenting in a few minutes, or actually few minutes. So I did my presentation for the high school students, and they were actually a really quiet bunch. It was really fun to do regardless, though. I love sharing my takeaways, and with that, take care and keep shining. That's the end of this video.